Thank you everyone to be here to the server-side chat. Today we're going to have the presentation of Andrews about accelerating Java cloud development with test containers and LocalStack. A server-side chat by Andrews. Oh, this is not the part of the chat. Okay, so Andrews, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cool. Who here work or study or use for personal development cloud, any cloud? Azure, AWS, Google Cloud Provider, of course. And who here already passed through a situation where you want to run your application on your local machine? However, your application have a lot of resource and it's in the cloud and you had a hard time to get it together? Yeah, cool, that's normal, okay. And the most important question, who already watched or like The Office? You're erratic people.
The Office, the building?
No, the TV show. Yeah, the TV show. The erratic people. Okay. I am Andrews, and in the next 30 to 40 minutes, I will present to you some cool tools like TestContainers and LocalStack. And these tools will make it possible to make AWS running on your local machine and getting your life much easier when running or testing your application in your isolated environment. So first, this is a slide about me. You can see graphic design is my passion. I'm Andrews, 33 years old. I'm from Brazil. I arrived here in the Netherlands in 2022. I live in Utrecht with my wife, and we don't have kids, but I have 2 dogs. Frodo, the middle one, and Barney, the white one in the left side, sorry. No, right for you. And right now I am working at Bol. In Bol we use Google Cloud Provider, and we have some cool tricks to also use emulators on Google Cloud, and I will talk to you later. But first, agenda for today, let's talk about cloud resources in local development. The problems we pass with this, some solutions that we have nowadays, and the limitations. Let's present a little bit of Cloud Emulator and, of course, AWS LocalStack, the star of tonight. Test containers and the Dunder Mifflin problem. Let's make a real application running here with cool features, and we're gonna use some cool resource of AWS. If you guys never watched or don't like The Office, I'm not sure if you're gonna like this presentation. I will use a lot of jokes, and maybe if you don't understand, you're gonna have a hard time to enjoy it. That's what she said. So let's start with cloud computing. It's here to stay, apparently, right? Everybody's using it. It's an essential part of our development environment nowadays. And I remember, I'm not sure how many years you guys have of experience, but I remember when I don't have to deal with cloud. I have an infrastructure in a data center. It's there. It works. It's fine, right? So do you guys know for which reason companies start using cloud? Any idea? Hints? No? Yeah, scalability. Of course. I need more resource on my service, or I just put my credit card there and that's it, period. It's gonna work, right? It's fine. I don't need to deal with buying new pieces of hardware and etc. But another one reason is resilience and backups. And I remember in 2015, I was in Brazil working in a bank. We never used cloud before. And I arrived 8:30 in the morning of a Tuesday to a nice day at work, and suddenly the data center we use, they got fired. Sorry, fired, not fired, fire. So an air conditioner got some electric problem, and it started a fire in the data center. After lunch, after 12, in a Tuesday. And then everybody got desperate, started running, chaos, a crisis. We have a backup, of course, in a different data center. And we spent long hours changing DNS, IPs, configuration of application, putting everything to run again, and testing everything. So I could go home, around 3:30 p.m. in the Wednesday. So I stayed there more than 24 hours to put everything running and fine. And not good experience. In the next year, we start using AWS in the bank. And yeah, of course, the first resource I use in AWS is S3 bucket because I worked in an application that deal with a lot of files. So I had to process big text files, transform them, making payments in the system, whatever. And I realized this is so hard. I want to run my application locally, but I need to connect somehow because I don't have it. How can I read it? In past years, I read my file, my net folder. I forget the name in it. Yeah, my file server. I read my file server, but now I don't have it. And then we start figuring out how to do it, etc. But even when we do it, we had problems. Like I am competing with my application in test environment or development environment in the cloud, and that's a problem. It's complex. Every time you want to run your application local using cloud resource, it's complex. So possible solutions. You guys already passed through this problem. How can I fix this? How can I run my application locally using emulators? Yeah, emulators is an amazing answer. It's not what I want, but it's an amazing answer. So we could connect to stage, like I did back in 2016. We can mock service. Yeah, of course, we do this every day for testing purpose, for doing some behavioral testing or integration testing, wherever. But the problem with mocking is never like it should be, right? We are mocking. What we are mocking doesn't have the behavior we expect, right? It's like Dwight trying to mimic Stanley, who else? Kevin, and I forget the name of the other character, but right? He is mocking. It's not the same behavior. So this can lead to problems while we are doing tests. So then we have a different approach, emulators. And what is the difference of mocking and emulators, right? So this is one of my favorite pranks in the office, is the Asian gene. It's amazing. They went too far to make a prank. They bring a friend of them, Gene, it's a character, and he likes to make pranks in Dwight, his friend, and he brings this colleague of him, his friend of him, this Asian actor. He's an actor, and this guy is basically emulating Jim's behavior. So he arrived in the office, he started working, he knew Jim's password for the telephone, for email, he knew about the sales Jim did yesterday, and Dwight got crazy. What the fuck, what we're doing? You are not Jim is not Asian. And yeah, what he's doing? He's mimicking the behavior of Jim, right? So this is a proper emulator. So we have different emulators that we could use for, yeah, basically this is the explanation, right? So emulators mimic services locally, and it makes our life easier, simplify our setup. We can isolate a test or run, and also we can reduce the cost. We don't need to test anything in test environment, in real cloud. So if you want to, I don't know, running thousands of Azure functions or Lambda functions, we don't need to use test environment. We don't need to spend money on them. We can use our local machine. So the cloud emulator I will present to you today is LocalStack. Does anyone know AWS LocalStack? Cool, many of you, like, that's nice. So LocalStack, it's not fully, but it's a fully functional local AWS cloud stack. And it's not part of it, it's not official, it's a different company, it's not part of AWS. And I'm not aware of others, but I believe this was the first one emulator that appeared in the market. And the cool thing about it's they provide you a lot of service. I will go into this later, but they provide you a lot of resource that you can use on your local machine. Yeah, of course, you have a community version that you can use also for commercial purpose. However, you can see some of the cool features are with the Tag Pro, which means that you are not allowed to use it for commercial purpose if you don't pay the Pro. And also you have one enterprise here, which is the database migration service. And however, if you want to just practice, study, or learning by yourself, you can use the Pro version on your machine. I will use the Pro version here because they have a kind of license named Hobby. It's basically that. You create an account and you have a hobby account that you can use for, you can run the Pro image of the LocalStack container. Different emulators that we have. So in Bol, for instance, we work with Google Cloud Provider. And we have the thing we name emulator is from GCP SDK. And also, I will show you later, LocalStack is also releasing a version for Azure. This is new, actually. It's not ready. It's not official yet, but they are doing. So basically what I want to show to you here is, yeah, of course, prices. Let's go to prices. Where is prices? It's supposed to be here. They were deploying during the day. Pricing, so this is pricing. It's not cheap, you can see. For individual developers, if you want to use the Pro license, you pay this. $35 per month per user. For teams, this. Enterprise, they don't have the courage to put the price here. I wonder why. Also, this is the documentation of G-Cloud emulators that I use. They have a lot of things actually in beta and alpha. So for instance, I use a lot during my day big table and PubSub. Unfortunately, BigQuery is not available yet. There are some workarounds, some people that fork and make custom emulators available on GitHub. There are some good community on that, but you don't fully rely on that. And this is a LocalStack for Azure. They are releasing. It's a few services only for now, but I would like to take experimentation on that. I think this is going to be interesting to know. Okay. So test containers. Does anyone know test container? I hope a lot of people know what test container. Okay, so test container is an open source library that enables you to run containers from your code, and you can isolate your tests. You can make containers for database, for instance, or whatever you want. And test containers also have a integration with LocalStack, which is nice. So you can run the LocalStack properly for your environment, but also you can make a container of LocalStack integrated with test container to run only on your test, which is really cool for CI pipelines and also for integration tests if you want. Okay, so the cool part of the presentation is the problem itself. So the Dunder Mifflin problem, Dunder Mifflin, a paper company, needs to keep in sharp, update with the new trends of the technology. And what we want to solve here is a small application and really small features to exercise our knowledge on AWS. So we want a CRUD, basically, with employees' name, department, and a nice photo. Then I want to see who is who. We're gonna read a streaming of employees' quotes, famous quotes from the TV show, and we're gonna store them to be able to retrieve later. And also we have an external API that returns a trivia about any one of the characters of the TV show. So it's okay to see. So this is the technically or theoretical pro environment. Of course, there is no pro environment, but technically, this is how it looks, our pro environment. We have our application here. It's our backend. And what we have is basically, we have Postgre, RDS Postgres here to store the data from employees, basically. S3 bucket to store the photos. We have Elasticache Redis to store the quotes from the TV show that we are consuming from the SKS queue. And there is an external application here producing these queues here. And also we are consuming a Lambda function here, acting as an external application to return the trivia about that character for us. And transforming this, bringing this to our local environment, this is what we have on our local machine and running. We have a container of LocalStack running with SKS, Elasticache, API Gateway, Lambda, S3 bucket, and RDS Postgres. And of course, the external service producing the messages are a simple script that we're gonna run, and our application here. Cool? In this way, we're gonna run our application, we're gonna emulate AWS environment, and let's test it. Okay, demo time. I already made my sacrifice, my prayer to the demo gods, and I hope everything goes fine. Cool. Let's start killing the last, okay. Let's state what we're gonna do. First, before running anything. So this is the project. It's available in GitHub later if you want to take a look. Basically, what we have here, what we're gonna run first is a Docker Compose file.
Andrews, sorry, for people that have problems with seeing, can you zoom in a little bit?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Presentation. Yes.
If this is not enough, I enter in the presentation mode. Is this good enough? Okay, cool. So what we have here is a simple Docker Compose file. We are getting the image of LocalStack Pro. Here we have the services we want to enable in our image. So for every resource you want to create for your AWS, you need to set here, I want to enable the service. So we're gonna use S3, RDS, Lambda, API Gateway, SKS, Elasticache, and yeah, logs, just in case. So this is a token, a personal token that you have when you create an account on LocalStack. So first thing, you go to LocalStack, you create your account, you have a page, a dashboard page, I will show you. And this is a system variable here in my local machine. And also everything here, it's being injected in my container. The ports are associated with the services. I am exposing and mapping the ports and some volumes here because I need to share some contents. So yeah, it's really small here, but I will show. So I have this folder here, LocalStack, and I have scripts here. And these scripts, they will make the setup for my environment. So what I need a queue, I need a bucket, I need a Lambda, I need the API gateway. I need to create this, right? I could use Infra as a code, I could use Terraform, for instance, but for this example here, for this purpose, I made a very simple shell script that just go there and create. So I have this one. He is the setup. He executing each one of them, creating S3, really simple command, create S3. SKS, really simple command. RDS, it's not that simple, but it's still simple. Then we go to Lambda. It's fine, it's cool. And then you go to Gateway, and don't ask me. Don't ask me. Believe me, it's there. We're gonna see it. Okay, it's gonna work. Trust me. Okay, cool. So as soon as my Docker Compose run, he will start running this setup script and create all the resources I need. Right. So now you trust me or not? Let's do it. Docker Compose. Oh, this would be nice to have a bigger array. Docker Compose up. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Okay. So now it's basically logs, creating. I already see the QRL for my SKS queue. Postgres usually take a little bit of time, not much. Yeah. Big piece of the process, yes. And while this is creating, it's gonna be fast, I promise. This is the dashboard from LocalStack. You can see I am connected in my account. What this provides me is an overview of my containers that are running with my key. So this container needs internet because he is going to this website, validating that I am allowed to run this and registering the information of my container there. Important to know. If you try to do a demo without internet, you're gonna fail. That's good to know. Okay, so let's take a look here in the dashboard. I have my container running here. If I go to the overview here and status here, you're gonna see it's running. So this is what I am doing. I have an API gateway, Elasticache, Lambda, SKS. I have everything. This is running. This is available because I inject the services to be run, right? And this is disabled. I could create anything from here. I am not using for this demo, but it's there, it's running. I also have the possibility to use something called LocalStack Desktop. I don't like it. I prefer the web version, but it's like a Docker desktop or a Rancher desktop. You come here, you can click here. He will ask me to log in the exactly same page, just to be, yes, he will drop me here. But after I do this, I can click here and I have the same page. I have the results here. I can enter and see, for instance, hey, it's my bucket here. There's nothing, it's empty, of course, but I can use, I can use here too. It's gonna work in the same way, in the same sense. Cool, so now I have my AWS running. One thing it's important. I'm not injecting this in the properties, so because this changes every time my machine create a new one, I have to update the application dev. I don't want to fail, right? Cool, sorry. So here in the application dev, we have, we have the connections, right? We're gonna inject this in our application and it's basically the endpoints it's creating. You can see he creates the LocalStack cloud, this SKS. You can check everything, getting the endpoints in the UI I showed to you before. Cool, so let's run our application. Let's go to the dev environment profile. Let's run, bloop, it's ready. Okay, so the application is running. It's running here. You can see some kind of things. Okay, so I'm here in the application. I'm gonna first, we talk about having a crew of employees. So let's try to check if we have employees. So let's call this. And yeah, of course, we don't have anyone because the database is fresh new. So let's execute this create employees via post. It's a shell script that will basically call my curl. Cool. So now, if we execute the same, yeah, right. So then we have all these employees registered. You can see from the database, we have the first name, last name, department, and the key from the photo to find the photo in the bucket. You can check here in the overview. No, go back. Refresh page. We have a folder employees, and we have all the pictures here. Yeah, it's really, I'm sorry. Please let me know. Yeah, you can see the pattern I decided to go is basically the name and last name of each one of the characters. From where it's coming from here. I know it's small, but I have a folder. This is a local folder in my machine with the name local and the first name of each one of the characters. So we can see Kevin here, for instance, right? Cool. And if we come here and find, let's say, where's Kevin? Kevin likes, up, Kevin. We can download, and yes, it's the same picture. So it's, yeah, I'm telling you the truth. We are uploading the photo. Sure, cool. Let's take a look a little bit on the what we have here. So we want to show the photo, and I already told you graphic design is my passion. I don't know how to do front ends. I hate that. So what I did to show the photos here is, let's see the beautiful photo of Michael Scott. So I have an endpoint here that will return the photo. Here, do you believe me?
Yes, but can you zoom in as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
The photo will be ugly with the zooming. But let's see. Yes. So I will zoom out. Sorry. Sorry. So I didn't know how to make this easier, so I decided to take the photo and make a bitmap. This is a string. It's a colored string, a bitmap from the original photo, just to check if the photo is there. Just that. We can play around with different numbers here. I think this is a gene. And here we have Penn, it's David Wallace, best boss, right? What else? We have Daryl here. We have Creed. Yes, crazy guy. Did you remember this guy? Can you recognize, by the way? It's making sense, okay? Let's see what we have above here. Let's see number 15. Yeah, Roy. Yes, Gene kicks his ass, right? He takes 10. Cool. Good guy takes the girl. Yeah, Toby. Everybody hates Toby? Cool. Right, so I know we also have, so now we have the, we are registering the data. We are getting the trivia. By the way, yes, the trivia. That's interesting to talk about. So, for instance, let's take again Michael Scott. So here we have the trivia here. And from where is coming this trivia? So this trivia, I can show for you the database, then you are not saying that I'm a liar. I'm not a liar. Let's tables. Let's go. So this is the database. It's connecting in the RDS. I know it's small. I know. Don't worry. There is no zoom. There is zoom. So the database only contains the ID, department, first name, and last name. There's no trivia here, right? Why? Because the trivia, it's coming from here. We have this trivia JSON. It's a JSON with lines and trivias about the characters. And I have an Python file here that acts like my external API. And this Python is being injected as a Lambda function, and the API gateway is mapping this trivia to return. So, for instance, we can go, let's take here, let's take this endpoint here, show to you. So let's put name, Jane, Halpert, this is the input. It's Lambda, it's not my application. If I come down, if I just turn off my application, it will keep running, keep working. And if you check the containers we have running right now in machine, we have two. We have the LocalStack dev, which is the big container with everything. And because we invoke the trivia, the Lambda first time, he creates this container for the Lambda itself. And it keeps running because I decided in configuration to keep it running. But I could say, kill it every time you call like a proper Lambda function, right? Okay, so this is our feature for the trivia part. And now we want to see the quotes from the show, right? So let's check. We have an endpoint to get the quotes from the show. There is no quotes. Of course, there's no quotes because we didn't input any quotes. So let's stop the application because I don't want to consume the events. What I'm gonna do is basically run this bash here. This simple bash file which reads this file here containing a bunch of messages with the name of the character and some famous quote from the TV show. So we're gonna do it, and what's gonna happen is send quotes to SKS. So now what he's doing is basically sending to SKS. It's like a producer, a regular producer, right? And we're gonna see it if we go to the front end here, LocalStack, entering this SKS. We have the quotes here. We already have 53. We already have 62. We have 65. I think it's going until 81. And we can see the messages. We can enter here and see the messages exactly like you're gonna see in AWS frontend. It's the same, right? Okay, cool. So I think we have already everything here. It's 81, there's no more. There's no more, there's no more. Shut up about the sun. Cool, let's run the application again. And now my application will use this to, no, not this, sorry. The consumer, yes. We're gonna consume the messages and we're gonna call this quote service here to store this all these quotes in the Elastic cache, right? We have Elastic cache. Okay, so the application probably already consumed everything, yeah? It's consuming, it's deleting. So now if we check the quotes from Michael Scott, then we have a bunch of quotes. Yeah, cool. So let's check my favorite endpoint of all, quotes. What is this endpoint doing? It's basically going to the Elastic cache, getting all the quotes, getting a random quote, finding the owner of this quote, and printing this beautiful face here with the quote and the name like a proper quote. Like Angela saying, I'm not again with this seminar, blah, 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 blah. We can have Michael Scott with amazing, he always gets amazing quotes, right? Michael Scott. Michael Scott again. Pen. Once every hour someone is involved in an internet scan, that man is Michael Scott. Sure. If I keep pressing these quotes time enough, we eventually gonna hit some not existent user through contraption. I can rise my lower cholesterol. I remember this. So, for instance, here we reach Andy Bernard. We didn't create the character Andy Bernard. Yeah, let's create it. So let's get the. I have a help file here to help me with this. Let's copy. We're gonna create Andy Bernard, Gaby Lewis, Holly Flex, Karen, Filippelli, Robert California. We're gonna create everybody, the rest of the crew. Cool. And now if we get all the employees, fuck. JK. Yeah, we have more employees here. We have Karin, we have Holly, we have Gaby Lewis. And now, yeah, probably I don't have any problems with quotes anymore. Yeah, he's telling. Nice. When he was talking about the pretzel day, amazing episode. Yeah. Did I stutter? Jin again. Yes, me too. I love Kevin. Kevin's amazing. Yes, Howard. That's it. I can keep it going. I have 81 quotes here. I have everything, but then we cover, right? We have a CRUD for employees. We are saving them in a S3 bucket. We are generating message. We are consuming them, saving in Elastic cache, and yeah, this best feature, which is bringing quotes here. I love this. I keep developing this, and while developing, trying things, I start laughing a lot when I start reading and remember the episodes. Yeah, amazing. What else? Oh yeah, yes, test containers, right? We talk about test containers. So let's stop the application and let's kill. Oh, cool. Every time you do anything here, every time you interact with LocalStack, you can check the logs here. So you can easily debug your application if it's doing a boo-boo, for instance. So you don't need to do CloudWatch or stuff like this. You can do it here. It's really handy. Okay, so stopping the container. It will take some time. So what we want to do now is running a simple integration test, which is basically, I'm gonna call some endpoints, check if it's working. Let's kill this, down -v. Cool. Okay, so we have the application, it's not running anymore. Cool, I don't need this, So I have the Docker Compose. I could run Docker Compose up and run my integration tests. But then I have to do two things. I want to do only one. I want just to run the tests. So you can easily have the same or almost the same behavior as I showed to you, using test containers, which if you already know about and you are using, you know how to do it. So I have this file here. It's a test configuration file that is creating containers for me, and it's creating 3 different containers, a Postgre container, a generic container for Redis, and the LocalStack container. Why I am creating the Redis container and the PostgreSQL container? Because the LocalStack container doesn't support, if we enter here, it doesn't support all the features, the same features that we are using before. So running my LocalStack as a container itself, perfect. I can use RDS, I can use Elasticache, it works. However, if I want to run my LocalStack in a test container, I have this limitation. I don't have RDS here. I don't have Elasticache. So, and probably I don't have many other resources here. So for our case here, it's okay because it's RDS's database. In the end, is just an endpoint, right? So I can create my own container of Postgre and just point to that endpoint. Same for Elasticache. I can create my Redis and point that. It's perfect. It's gonna work. But I understand if someone hits on some kind of resource that it's not possible to use with test containers. It's fine.
Family.
What?
Transfer family.
Transfer family?
Yeah, for SS, FTP.
It's not here. Yeah. Then you need to find another way. Then, mock something or... That's a limitation that we have. And of course, we are creating the container here. However, we need to create also the resource. We need to create the bucket, we need to create the queue, we need to create the Lambda and the API gateway. And it's, of course, code is everything together. We could make it cleaner. Of course, we could. But for buckets and queues, again, it's really simple. It's this. With this code, I'm creating a bucket, I'm creating a queue. However, again, to create a Lambda is this. To create the API gateway is this. It's a lot. It's a lot of things. But it's Java. Yeah, everybody knows, right? It's fine. You just take a look and then you will understand. Okay, so I'm gonna running the test with this class will create these containers. And what we have more? We have the AWS configuration for the test. We have cache configuration for Redis for test, and we have database configuration for Redis on test. Just that. I'm overriding the properties from the development environment for the test. And the class, it's really, really simple. It's gonna basically invoke my API to create Michael Scott. Also will upload the photo of Michael Scott and will retrieve the just created Michael Scott here. And this other method will return a not found if doesn't find it. Of course, it will not find because it's a 999. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I will put a breakpoint here. Now, first I will run. Let's first run. Okay, if everything goes well, we're gonna run, the context will run up, the containers will be created and killed. That's it, right? Let's see. Let's take the logs. So you can see in the logs, we are not running any tests yet, it's setup time. So what it's doing, it already created the Redis container, it created the PostgreSQL container, now creates the S3 bucket, the SKS queue, created the Lambda function, and is exposing the API gateway. It will take a few seconds, and then we'll run the tests. Of course, you can make your whole test suite running in the same containers, so you don't need to create, every time you have a new class for tests, you don't need to wait. It's fine, okay, it ran, it worked. Cool. So we fetching employee, return a not found. We create a new employee, and we fetch the same employee with ID 1. Okay, our test passed. Now I'm gonna put one thing interesting about the containers in the test. So this is something that I want to figure out why. So if you guys are familiar with test containers, you know there is a container named Ryuk, which is a container responsible for managing your resource, right? For some reason, my rancher is getting some kind of conflict with Ryuk, and I had to disable Ryuk to run this test. And because of this, every time he creates the container for the Lambda function in the test, this Lambda function don't die. It becomes eternal here. So I will manually delete this because I want to put a breakpoint again. So I will run again, but this time I will put a breakpoint here. And yeah, just to be sure, we have the same trivia API in the test resource because this is gonna be used for the Lambda we are creating for the test. We have a script for initialize the database, and we have a photo, beautiful photo of Michael. This is gonna be uploaded to the container for S3, yes. Okay, so I will put a breakpoint here and I will debug. Why? Because I don't want to kill the container, I want to show you the container. So let's come here. He will complain that my container is not running anymore because this container is old. Right, that's not a problem. Yeah, close, whatever. Let's wait. It's gone. What a timer. Expectation. Yes, okay, I have a breakpoint there. Cool. So if we take a look here in the containers, what we have? We have 3 containers as we define. The test containers one, the Redis, the Postgres, and our Lambda, because when we create our Michael Scott register there, he invoked Lambda. So here it comes. It's here our Lambda function available. If we come here in the test containers, we're gonna see this is our test containers container running. We can come here again. We can enter here. We can check here. We're gonna go here, and we have the photo Michael Scott. That is the photo we run in the test. So, of course, we can download. Yeah, it's gonna work. Here it comes. It's there. So, what my integration test is doing is running my application. It's really running the context of my application. I'm not mocking anything. I'm really using everything that I showed to you before here for that scenario. And yeah, let's pass this. Okay, so the demo worked. Cool. Okay, so let's go back. Wrapping up. So what is the challenge we are dealing here? So how can we simplify our local environment for testing, for local development, using emulators, properly say, and not mocking resource? This is hard, but we can do it. We can reduce complexity. We can use the real cloud resource. LocalStack, really nice tool. But however, remember, if you want to use for a commercial purpose, you need to check if it's possible to pay for the license, because the community version is. Oh, actually, you can use the community version for business purpose. However, there is not everything there, so you can miss the RDS and you can miss other features. It's part of the life. TestContainers is open source. You can use. I think you only need to pay if you want to download you want to use the UI application like Docker. Again, we use RDS, S3, SKS, Elasticache, API Gateway. I think this covers like 90+% of things that we can use in the cloud. It's very rare to use more than this. Key benefits, again, no need to touch. AWS resource, real resource. We can have faster cycles of development. We can easily debug. We can fail fast. We can integrate new resource without. Many times you want something in an infrastructure, but you are not allowed to do it because you need to open a ticket. You need to ask someone from the infra to do it for you. And here you can do by yourself. You can integrate with infra as a code. You can just do simple AWS SDK commands like I did. You can either use to integrate in your CI. You can, instead of running your integration tests in a stage environment, you can use your own container, your own data prepared for run your tests. And this is references. I already showed the links for you. The code is here. If you want to take a look how it was done, it's fine. And to be finished the presentation, I want to bring a nice quote for a philosopher too, a modern philosopher. So there is this moment of Dunder Mifflin Company where Howard, the intern, he started gaining more power in the company, and he became with this idea of making a website where people can order their own paper without needing of the salespeople. And the salespeople start getting crazy. What the fuck? The machines will replace us because we are people. We do sales. We are good on that. Machines will never beat me. We have this whole epic fight of Dwight against the machine. So every time Dwight make a sale, machine also make a sale. They have a whiteboard where they count the numbers of selling thing. And Michael Scott was trying to act as a lead, right? He is a leader. He needs to motivate his people. But he was also concerned to lose the job. And then he was driving his car with Dwight and following the GPS orders. And the GPS said, turn right. And there is a road available to turn right. But before the road, there is a hidden path that drives you in a lake. What Michael said is, I will follow the machine, right? Machine knows. So he started moving to the right, and Dwight got crazy. No, it's there. The road is there. It's not here. And Michael say, the machine knows. Machine knows. I will follow the machine. And in the end, he dragged his car in the lake. And in the end of this episode, he brings this really good quote about, and I think it's also useful for us in the AI era. People will never be replaced by machines. In the end, life and business are about human connections, and computers are about trying to murder you in a lake. And to me, the choice is easy. Thank you.
Really nice.
Questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Does LocalStack have a cost estimation feature?
Yes.
That would be awesome.
I didn't show. Fuck.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, fuck. I didn't show, but when I was doing stuff, my experimentation, I saw the cost estimation for Lambda, for instance. When I look into the logs of Lambda, we call you can see every invoke you do, the metric how much resource you spend on that, and how much that will be billed for you. And I've not explored the others, but I know you have a product what is the name in AWS where you have the cost monitor? What is the name of the resource you have to monitor your costs on AWS?
Pricing calculator, you have the pricing stuff.
You have something in the cloud, right? Some
In the
dashboard.
AWS console, yes.
Yeah, you can have the same console to check your stuff. It's really good.
The Cost Explorer.
Cost Explorer, yes, but I'm not sure if it's available only in the Pro. Okay. But it's, yeah, you can have an idea, yes.
Yeah. So we are really behind of the schedule. So if you want, we still have some minutes before we close the office, so you can reach Andrew. So Andrews, I need to give you thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
your presentation. Next round of applause, Andrews. And just curiosity, I when he was speaking, I went to AWS price calculator, and the minimum Postgres RDS, the minimum Elasticcache, and if we shut down one environment with these tools, we can save 900, almost 1,000 euros per month.
Wow.
That you can use LocalStack license.
Yeah.
So that's also nice. So I would like to thank you very much for being here today. I also would like to thank again WAES for hosting this event. And I would like to let you know that we already have our next meetup planned. It's gonna be with Elias, transform your testing data tools and strategies. Looks like really promised. I really invite you to scan the QR code and are ready to put in your agenda. It would be really nice. And again, we are here to build a community. So please, if you want to speak, if you want to host, if you want to have any kind of ideas or connections, reach us, okay? Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.